What's going on, guys? I'm your host from the East Coast, Gene the Man 94, here to give you guys my quick NXT Brooklyn 2 predictions. Now, I know the video came out a little bit late. I've been kind of busy with work and everything, so I do apologize for that. NXT Takeover Brooklyn is tonight, and SummerSlam is tomorrow, so you'll be seeing reviews for both of those shows tonight and tomorrow night for me. But yeah, I do apologize for getting the predictions video out so late, but here it is. So let's get right into it. So we have a debut of a new women talent down in NXT, Ember Moon. She's coming from off the indies or whatever. She's going to have her debut match. Of course, she's going to win it because, you know, why would they have somebody lose their debut match? She's probably going to face some jobber or whatever they got down there, and she's going to beat her easily. That's probably how that's going to go. Now next we have No Way Jose versus Austin Aries, and I like both of these guys. No Way Jose has been, you know, the partying type of, you know, guy. He comes out, he brings energy to the crowd, the NXT crowd, and then, you know, Austin Aries was, you know, partying with him. One day he was just trying to, you know, forget about his loss he had against Shinsuke Nakamura at the last takeover. I think, was it the last? Yeah, at the last takeover, I believe. And pretty much he attacked No Way Jose and was taking out his frustrations on him. So everybody didn't think No Way Jose had, you know, that mean streak in him, but he did. He came back with a vengeance against Aries and had him running away from him. He was just like so serious, and that's what I like about No Way Jose, and that's what I like about NXT. Their ability to build stars, and, you know, even if they have, you know, a silly gimmick that they do or whatever, or, you know, they just go out there and have fun, they still have that mean streak to them. They still have that aggression to them. They can get serious at any point in time, just like Bayley. Bayley comes out there, you know, she plays towards the crowd, she laughs, she likes to joke, have fun, and hug everybody, but when it comes down to business, she handles her business, and that's exactly what they're doing with No Way Jose. Who's gonna win this match? I think they're gonna have No Way Jose win it, because I feel like they're trying to build him up as, you know, a top baby face down there. Well, maybe not even like, you know, to go towards a title, but they're just trying to build new stars. Austin Aries is already established. I see him being on the main roster in the next couple of months, maybe even around the Royal Rumble or whatever. So the loss won't affect him. He's going to be probably putting over No Way Jose. And yeah, they get to have their match. I pretty much enjoyed this rivalry, though. It shows, you know, both of them have the ability to take each other out, and I think it's going to be the means for a good match, so I can't wait to see it. We have the NXT Tag Team Championship Match. The Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder versus Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. You know, they pretty much been ranting and raving about how they beat the Revival in a non-title match. I forgot how long ago that was, but, you know, they beat them, so they just been clamoring about getting a chance at the titles. The Revival's been ducking and dodging them, but they finally give them their chance here. And so they're going to face off for the NXT Tag Team Championships. You got, you know, the newcomers, the Young Bucks, pretty much. No pun intended. But, you know, you got the young guys going after, you know, the veteran tag team, the two-time NXT Tag Champs. Who do I see winning? I'm going to go out on a limb and say Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. These two guys know each other so well, they can face off against each other and have a good match, and they can be tagged together and have a good match. You know, they're best friends. They came up through the indies together. Johnny Gargano is actually from Cleveland, so I'm going to be definitely rooting for him. Now, that's not to take away anything from the Revival, because the Revival ain't nothing to be taken lightly. In my top NXT underrated talents video, I definitely put the Revival in there because, you know, people sleep on them, but, you know, these guys are great. These guys are really talented, and they tell a good story in the ring. So I think they're going to lose, though, because I believe that, you know, NXT is going to push them up to the main roster as well, because, like I said, these guys are talented, and they're pretty much ready to be a top heel tag team up there and cause some ruckus on the main roster. So I definitely see them winning. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, you know, give them a nice little rub and, you know, elevate them up some more. Because, like I said, NXT is all about building people. We have Andrande, Cien, Almas versus Mr. Glorious himself, Bobby Roode. Oh, man, that Glorious gimmick is just hilariously funny, and it's so over. Speaking of Gargano and Ciampa, they've been on Twitter just, going back and forth with Bobby Roode about it and, doing this whole glorious bomb thing. Well, they'll get close to him when he's doing something and they'll play the theme song just to get a nod from him that it's okay. They even went as far as to go inside his bedroom in his hotel and play it and wake him up. And it looked like he was going to beat them down, but then he was just like, you know what? Okay. Yep, you got the nod. It's okay. And went back to sleep. It's just been hilarious. There's like whole compilations of that on YouTube. You guys should check that out. Now this match, I think Bobby Roode's gonna win it against Andrade. Cien, I guess that means 100. He's had some good matches against Ty Dillinger, when he first came to NXT. And Bobby Roode's trying to establish himself as the top heel down there, the face of NXT, as he's proclaimed himself to be. So yeah, I definitely see him winning. I'm not sure if it's his first match. It might not be. I think so. I think this is his first match, so I don't think he's gonna lose it. I expect a good match from these two, though. Bobby Roode, I've watched him from TNA since, around the same time, I watched AJ Styles. I think he came in after AJ, but the whole beer money thing with him and James Storm, just incredible talent, incredible, very charismatic. The way he was able to debut and just immediately turn heel and get the crowd chanting for him, and then immediately turning on him with the drop of a dime was just excellent. I loved how they did that. And Andrade, he's very high flying, very crafty in the ring. He's got a unique set of skills that shouldn't be taken lightly. So Bobby Roode has a good match ahead of him, but I think he comes out on top here. Now let's talk about the two championship matches, the two main events. The first one is WWE Women's Championship match between Asuka, the champion, and Bayley. Now Bayley lost her title. I think it was Takeover. Was it Takeover Dallas? She lost to Asuka, who hasn't been beaten yet, by the way. And yeah, so now she's trying to get a rematch. Asuka's deadly though. Like, I mean, Bayley has gone against the Nia Jax, the Sasha Banks, the Charlotte, but she ain't never faced nobody like Asuka. Asuka killed Brock Lesnar, I think. I'm pretty sure Asuka would be the one to beat the one behind the one in 22-1. But yeah, this is gonna be a great match. Bayley is seems like she's extremely focused compared to the last time they faced off. She ain't playing no game. She knows what task is ahead of her. She knows how dangerous Asuka is, and Asuka's just a badass. She's just gonna kill whoever gets in the ring with her. So this is gonna be another great match. To continue to put the women, on notice that, they're able to put on great matches in NXT on the main roster, and they're able to showcase that, they're not just out there for their looks. They're out there because they can actually wrestle. Who comes away here? Well, I've been hearing rumors that Bayley's going to stay down there for a lot longer. So I think they're going to make her a 2-time NXT Women's Champion. I think she will be the one to beat Asuka. If not Bayley, then there's really nobody else legitimate enough down there to beat Asuka. I think Asuka's streak is broken. Her winning streak. Sometimes got to come to an end. And, I love Asuka. Asuka's great. She's going to kill everybody on the main roster when she comes up. So that's just going to be bad for them. But I think Bayley overcomes that, like she's overcome every other competitor that she's faced, and she reclaims her NXT Women's Championship. Because right now, I believe Bayley's the face of NXT now, since Finn Balor left. So yeah, I think they're going to put the title back on Bayley. It'll legitimize her, give her another great win. Asuka won't look bad because Bayley's a former champion, so, her first loss won't be, as bad as maybe Rusev's first loss to John Cena. Because that was just bad. Like, Rusev tore through the whole roster and then lost to John Cena, who it seems like everybody has a trope. Like, it'd be like him losing to Brock Lesnar. It'd be just the same. Like dang, that building of that person's undefeated streak just to lose it to somebody who nobody can beat, really. So yeah, I have Bayley coming away as the champion in this match. Now we'll talk about, I think this is going to be the main event. I haven't heard anything different. The WWE NXT Championship match between Samoa Joe, who's the champion, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Man, this is going to be another one of those where I think that a winning streak comes to an end. Shinsuke has not lost since he's come to NXT, and I think that changes because Samoa Joe is one badass motherfucker, and he don't play no games as well. I think this is going to be a great match, though. You know, you got the King of Strong Style, and then you got, you know, the Samoan submission machine. That's what he was known as in TNA. I think Joe, because Joe can take them kicks from Shinsuke. Shinsuke throws out some devastating kicks, but I think Joe will be able to handle it to a certain degree and be able to counter something and be able to defeat Shinsuke. I don't think this will be their last match either. But I don't believe Shinsuke is just going to win the title. If he does, I'll be surprised. But they seem to have an invested stock in Samoa Joe, and he seems to be, you know, the top male wrestler down there at the moment. And I believe they'll keep him as champion for a while, which they should. No knocks against Shinsuke, because I think Shinsuke is great. But I don't think Joe should lose this match, nor do I think he will. Another great match, though, I'm predicting. I think the whole show is going to be great. Everybody on the roster that's in these matches, from No Way Jose to Bobby Roode to Asuka to Shinsuke Nakamura, Austin Aries, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, all of them, they'll be able to put on a great show. This will be another takeover that you can go back and watch again. And it'll just be great for the fans to watch. It'll be great for us to watch, you know. And then, you know, we'll review the show. And I don't expect anything terrible from NXT. I haven't seen a bad show yet. I've seen just, you know, regular NXT shows, but all their takeover specials have been amazing. They've even elevated my expectations for NXT. NXT has a way of, you know, putting on great wrestling shows and getting you really invested in what's going on. They tell great stories in all of their feuds, no matter if it's for titles, not for titles, because you slept with this person. I'm just throwing that out there hypothetically. But yeah, so I expect a good show. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Are you guys expecting another good NXT show? And I want to know your predictions for the show as well. Thank you guys for watching. Slap a big thumbs up on it if you enjoyed the video. And I'll talk to you guys later on tonight, because TakeOver's tonight. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Peace.